Hey guys, welcome out to the shop. Today we have another small engine that we're going to be working on, and as you can see today we have a little tiller. This tiller is a Troy-Bilt 4-cycle tiller, and this is how I picked it up. It isn't in the worst of shape, but it's not in the best of shape, if you know what I mean. So one thing I've noticed right away is that it does not have the pull handle. I see a string down in there. I don't know the status of this at all. It has something in here. I'm not sure if that is water or if that's fuel. Let's go sniff it real quick and see what it is. And that is water, so that's not very good. Hopefully that didn't get down in the engine, but we're gonna have to take this off, dump the tank out, and let's check the air box real quick. There we go. All right, so now we can get the air filter out of here. And it's got liquid right there, so there might be some fuel in there. We're gonna go ahead and get started on this by probably taking off the top part right here, removing this so we can at least get the pull string pulled back through here, and then we can work on trying to get this fired up and see what the status of it is. Got 2 screws right here on the side. We're gonna try to I need a bigger screwdriver. This would be nice to get this rail off. It's also a Torx bit, but I don't want to strip it with the Torx bit on there, because that is never fun. I think we're gonna have to take this off so we can at least gain access to the 2 screws. Let's get some wrenches. I've gotten it started to get pried up, but I wanted to show you guys. You have one screw that attaches the 2 sides or clamps it down, and then this is like a little set screw going into that right there. So you have to remove that one, loosen that one, and then you can slide this up to get it out of the way. All right, so now that we've gotten the engine up here on the bench, we're gonna take the 2 fuel lines off. This one goes to the primer bulb, and then this one came out of the other hole, so that's fine. And then we will take the fuel tank off, and it's only being held on by this 1 screw right here. So we're gonna get that off so we can empty it. That way we aren't spilling water, or a water gas mix, whatever the heck's in here, all over the place. There we go. Anybody see where the screw went? Anybody? There it is. And there. So we got this off. We're gonna go empty this out real quick. Yeah, that was only water that was sitting in this. So I wonder how messed up the rest of the engine might be. So we're gonna go ahead and continue though on our path to getting the pull string replaced. So we'll go ahead and take this cover off. I've gotten a hold of the end of the pull string that's in here. Look at how bad that is. It's stretched on the inside of the jacket. So this is no good. So we gotta get further into it. So we're gonna take off these screws right here and remove the red cover as well so that we can gain access, and then we'll go ahead and replace the actual string. We're about halfway into the engine pull cord replacement. I'm hoping that's all that this thing needs to be done. But as you can see, I've gotten it all completely taken apart. The bottom shroud's off. I have this piece that's still on here. this was on here as well. There is a Torx bit in here that you have to get to, but as you're unscrewing it, it turns this and turns the whole entire assembly, the whole entire engine over. So what you actually have to do is take, let me get the light over here. You have to take the spark plug out, and you have to put like a pull cord or something else inside of that so that it stops the piston from rising and falling, and then eventually it'll break that Torx bit loose and we can pull this off. Then we have to pull off the clutch assembly. I wonder if it'll slide off. Nope, not gonna get that lucky. So I gotta get this off, and then this shroud should come off. Then we can replace the pull cord. All right, so as you can see, we're kind of here at the aha moment. So to get the cover for the clutch off, I had to hold the piston so that I could unscrew it from the front portion right here. And I thought that this clutch was just supposed to be able to pull off, and lo and behold, I was incorrect. What I didn't see was any kind of real seam in there, so that's why I was thinking that I had to pull it off. And after I put some PB Blast on there and put some heat on it, I started looking a little bit closer, scratched it with a pick, and guess what I found? Threads. Look at that. So now we should be able to remove this cover. Should, I'm saying, because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that, yep, there it goes. So that's it. Wow, that is a lot of work to replace a pull string. Now that we've gotten the string off of there, we need to go ahead and start getting the cover that holds the coil and all that off, so that we can actually get in here and put on a new pull string. So far this has been adventurous as getting just the cover off. I didn't realize there's going to be so much involved in just getting the pull string in on this. So inside here there is also a like a little washer that's holding it down so it doesn't just spring up after you place it down in there. So we got that piece right there. Now this should just, yep, just gonna slide right out. There we go. Now we won't have to pull the entire string out, at least. Alright, so we got this string out. Now we can go ahead and put in a new string. So I've made the hole just a little bit bigger so that we could actually get this through there. This string was not going to fit. So now that we've gotten that in there, we can go ahead and put it back in here. And this has the hole obviously right there, so we gotta file that in there first. The pieces all back together. I got that washer in here, and so now you just give it a few pulls and make sure that it's going to go back just like it's supposed to. So that's all in working order, and now we can go ahead and reassemble the whole entire piece. As I'm putting it back together, I have the pull string, I have the clutch and the cover put back on here right now. And one thing that I wanted to do real quick, because I have the spark plug still out from where I have to hold that piston, I'm gonna go ahead and just check for spark. Well, I've got it here, just so that I know that I'm good on that aspect, because I don't know how long this hasn't been running. So we've got the spark plug pulled back in there, and I've got it just resting on the block. And we'll zoom in here so we can catch it on film and see if it's sparking. All right, let me turn it. I saw spark. Let's show you guys that it's got spark. Can you guys see that? Let me zoom in a little bit closer. There you go. I saw that, you guys can see that. So we're good now. The pull string works great on here, and we've got all the pieces assembled right now. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of the rest of this and get this put back onto the tiller real quick. Box gasket on the top, that came off just fine. And then we need to get the fuel line off. I'm not going to replace the fuel line on this, it still feels pretty good. Now we're going to go ahead and take the throttle off of there, and also the primer bulb. Let's get a screwdriver to get that off. I don't know how long this has been sitting around in the rain, obviously, because of all the water in the tank. So I don't want to put a bunch of bad crap back into the engine. Oh, it's not gonna want to. So I've got to undo the idle screw so that I can actually get to that screw to take off the throttle. Alright, so I got that screw out, and now I've got the rest of these pieces that are going to be coming out. It's got a spring, and you don't want to lose any of these pieces. It's got a spring in there. Watch me lose it now that I said something. And then right here, there is a little needle that needs to come out. Alright, so this has been sitting in carburetor cleaner for about 3 or 4 hours now. We're going to take this out and then take it and get it blown up, or blown off. I still see the needle and everything's sitting in there, so that's good. Nothing floated down to the bottom. So this is one thing that I'm looking at right now. If you can see, it's got a bunch of that gas that's been, I don't know, turned into like a lacquer. So that's one thing that we're going to be dealing with, and that's mainly because it was left with old gas and water in the system. So we got the carburetor out, got everything blown off, and now we are just putting stuff back together. And the little needle is probably the worst thing to work with. I have this itty bitty screw right there. We're gonna just drop it down, and we need our tiny screwdriver to put that in. And then this thing is almost complete. All right, so we're putting the stuff back all together now, and I've gotten the whole entire carburetor back together. And we're working the throttle cable back into the housing. There it goes. We got all of our gaskets on there. And now we will go ahead and tighten everything back up to how it used to be, how it was before. And then hopefully we can start putting this onto the actual tiller part and see if it'll run. All right, now we'll flip it up so we can get in here and put the cover on. Oh, how is it? There we go. That's how it went. Sometimes it takes you a minute to realize exactly how the pieces went, and then you drop your screws. So now we're gonna go ahead and be putting on the fuel tank. And this is a simple process. All it is one more screw to put together. There we go. So that's in there. I gotta put it in. There's a little slot over here as well that the base of it goes into, so it doesn't rattle all around. So that's in there now. Got our fuel lines back attached. Now we got to go ahead and mount this piece onto the actual tiller. So you can see it right there. I'm gonna mount it right onto the shaft right there. We'll see how well this goes. Slid on there with no problems. Alright, so the primer takes fluid. Awesome. So now we're going to go ahead and try to see if this will even crank over. So after I pulled the handle back off the string, I double knotted it, and I gave this a few tugs, and it doesn't feel like I have any compression whatsoever. Like I should have some resistance while I'm pulling on that, and I don't feel any whatsoever. I showed you guys earlier that we had spark, and the spark plug, I don't know if you guys can see it, but spark plug is wet. So it does have fuel on it. Fuel and the spark, but I just don't think that we have the compression aspect of it. So we're gonna try to take this cover off right here. I wonder if we can take this exhaust off instead, and then we can actually look in there. Well, that's what was rattling, is this was loose. I wonder if somebody's been in here already and checked it out and could see something. Yeah, these are all loose. I bet somebody's already been in here and saw that it's not working correctly, and then just decided to say, screw it, I'm not doing it. But not us. We're gonna check it out and see what's going on, and hopefully we can get it repaired. Alright, so that's off. Where is my little light? Where's my string? No, I need to get the cover, the top off. Need to get this part off. There we go. And as you can probably see it, I mean, this thing was left out in the rain, so who knows exactly what condition this is all in. Obviously the pull cord was ripped off. I mean, it was frayed to everything. Where's this gonna take us? Right to the valve. So we got the valve cover off, and they're working correctly. They're working just like they're supposed to. Let's take out the cylinder and see what that looks like. Like I said, it feels like there's absolutely no compression when I'm pulling on this, but I can't see. That stuff off. Now we can go ahead. I'm going to squirt some PB Blast on. Oh, that's not PB Blast. Put some PB Blast on these 4 bolts and let it sit there for a minute.
So Dad, what's this piece?
That's just a bracket to hold the throttle cable.
That's just like a thing. Now you did that. Okay. Daddy Shark. What if you see a dirty thing? Can we clean it?
Huh?
What if you see a dirty thing? Can you tell us? Because I want to try cleaning something.
Alright guys, we're about to be pulling the cylinder off, or the head off, so we can see what the cylinder or the piston looks like.
What's the piston?
It's the thing that moves up in here, up and down, and it creates compression, and then the spark ignites the compression and it goes.
Ooh, what's this ball?
That's just a hammer.
No, that looks like something to...
It's like a mallet.
What's a mallet? No, it looks like that thing that people use to flatten dough.
Alright.
The dough flattener 2000. Whoa, that looks weird. Whoa, this is cool.
Well,
this is a knife?
gasket
A knife?
is no good. I can tell you that.
This is a knife.
Yeah, so we've torn in here and we've gotten the cylinder head and everything off of here, and I can see that the gasket is in bad shape. It had a crack right up here in the very front. I can show you that. See that it's split right there, and there's oil that's passed through there. So what I'm going to be doing is either finding another gasket or possibly making another gasket. Here's what the little piston looks like. It's a little bit burnt on the top, but everything's there. So I opted to go with making a gasket. I'm not a big fan of making the gaskets, but there they are. This is the one that was broken. Here is the new one. It's close. And we'll put that one on and see if that's what fixes the problem or not with the compression issue. Alright, so I got the head assembly all back on, and something that I wanted to show you guys is that when you guys are putting this back together, the camshaft is that piece that rocks back and forth, and these are your valves and your rockers. These posts right here got to go through 2 little notches right here. And when you're putting this cover back on, you don't want to push too hard and think that you're good, and then all of a sudden snap these little rods. So you have to make sure that when you're guiding it back in, you might have to take like a pick and actually get it down in there and help guide those back up. And then we can go ahead and get these put back over top of the arms, or the push rods, just like that. And now we can go ahead and bolt the cover back on. So before we put the cover back on up here, So those are moving just fine like I needed to verify before I put the cover on. So we can take this, make sure it's got the gasket still on there, get a little bit of trash out of there, and now we can slide this on. Whoop. And this is the exhaust, if you didn't know. Alright, so you guys saw me give it a few pulls, and I had my volume off, so I'm sorry you can't hear it. But it started up a little bit. It was on choke. So we know that it will run. It has compression now. It has the fire and everything like that that we need. Let me show you guys real quick, since the volume was off for some reason. I forgot to turn the mic on. Alright, so we got the choke all the way on. There's fuel in the primer bulb. Got everything tightened up. Wants to run with the throttle open. So we know that the machine does run. We do have the compression now that we need. So that's where I'm gonna go ahead and end this week's video. So we've done some big things on this tiller. We've changed out the pull cord, which was a major pain in the butt. I didn't think that we were gonna have to take everything apart like we did, but things happen, we did. But we've got the new pull cord on there. We've cleaned the carburetor out. We've cleaned the needle and everything like that. Now, what we need to work on, oh, we made a new gasket because the other one was torn at the tip and we didn't have any of the compression that we needed to get anything to fire. So now we have the compression, we have fire, we do have fuel, we just have to kind of play around with it. So this is this week's video, and then next week will be a part 2 on finding out what the fuel problem is. Or what exactly the problem is, why it won't run like it should. It's running on only the full choke, and I got to dive deeper into it and try to figure that out. But that's all the time I have for this week for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have learned something. Picking up these small engines can be a challenge sometimes, but you know, you just gotta work through it, and you know, that's what we're working on right now. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below in the section. If you guys are new, welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Check out all the other playlists I have: automotive stuff, small engines, tool reviews, woodworking, blacksmithing. Check out the playlist. That's where you will find what you like. And thank you guys for watching. I post videos Wednesdays and Sundays. I'll see you guys on the next video.